The anime is about a 24-year-old man named Akira, a depressed salaryman who has given up hope on living. Every day when he waits at the station, he asks himself why he is enduring all this. Isn't it better to just die? However, unlike the present, ever since his childhood days to university days, Akira has been a cheerful and energetic person who aimed to enjoy his each and every day. He wanted to carry on this positive energy to his corporate life, and at 21 years of age, he joined a firm with high hopes of fulfilling his dreams. He had zero corporate experience, but was glad to see how welcoming his colleagues were. And because the company was in the entertainment industry, Akira was hoping to get a chance to get closer to a female celebrity and eventually marry her. He just wanted to do his best and become the best employee. And to help in filling his empty love life, he also met his gorgeous senior named Saori, who was the perfect woman any man could dream of marrying. This was the last push Akira needed to work at his best. After their first day was over, Akira's senior organized a welcoming party for new employees. There Akira introduced himself and shared about his past, how he used to be in a sports club in his college days. Akira's senior also talked about themselves and advised him to rely on them if any need arose. Akira already felt his seniors were awesome, but after talking to them and learning about them, he was just grateful to be in this company. He was determined to work hard so he could be worthy to propose to Saori. After finishing dinner, as he was about to leave for home, Akira realized he still had to do a lot of work despite completing his contract hours. He pulled an all-nighter, because of which he slept at the office. Even the next day, he worked all day without any breaks. It's only after 2 whole days spent at office that Akira was able to return home for a comfortable sleep. The next day when he woke up, his head started to hurt because of insufficient sleep. He didn't want to go to work but pulled himself together and encouraged himself to get used to this path he chose for himself. He tried to see everything happening for a positive reason. Him working over his contract hours is only because the company trusts in his skills. He started respecting his seniors more for not taking any paid vacations and bragging about their record for spending the most hours in the office. And his supervisor was very passionate, who gave motivational speech that moved the employees so much that they wanted to cry. Akira started living in denial. And it's only after a whole year that he accepted these are known as exploitative companies. Despite this suffocating work life, one thing remains unchanged, and that was Saori's cuteness and kindness towards him. But in the past whole year, Akira found out that Saori and his boss's relationship was more than just work-related. It's not like Akira didn't thought of leaving and joining other companies, but the harsh reality is that there are worse companies than his, and with this much competition he feared that he would never get into any good company. Because he was enduring so much, after 2 more years, it reached a point where he started to have thought about taking his life. Everything becomes so uninteresting to him that he hoped to just sleep and never wake up. Back in the present, Akira wakes up after yet again an uncomfortable sleep. He gets ready and finds a notice about rent being due. So before heading to office, he first goes to pay it. But there he finds a husband eating his wife. Akira freaks out and soon realizes there are a lot more. He runs for his life and eventually realizes they are zombies just like he watched in movies. He keeps on running away from the zombies to the office because he doesn't want to be scolded. But when he finally realizes that this whole thing means starting today he doesn't have to work anymore, Akira is very happy. As if every neuron inside his brain is telling him he is free. Everything once again becomes colorful to Akira. He starts thinking what he should do now. Maybe get himself some juice and watch movies all day, or maybe visit somewhere. But then he thinks about Saori. Even though she is someone else's mistress, he wants to at least confess to her. He rides his bike and using the company data, he arrives at her apartment. Before entering the home, Akira is nervous. He rings the doorbell, but when no one responds he notices the door is unlocked. He enters it and finds his boss is turning into a zombie. Akira takes a deep breath, and using this chance he submits his resignation to him. It pains him to think what he was doing up until now, but he is going to take control of his life. He charges at him, and tackles him out of the window. But when he searches for Saori, he is devastated to see he is too late. Akira is emotional. He gathers his courage and stands up. He confesses ever since he saw her, he completely fell in love with her. He runs away and bids her the last goodbye. The scene shifts to a convenience store, where while drinking juice, Akira still can't believe he doesn't have to go to work anymore. But it's also true he can die today or 60 years later. And if he is going to die either way, then he is going to make sure to do all the things he wanted to do. He will live the best life possible. The following day, Akira wakes up in a panic about being late for office, only to realize he doesn't have to go anymore. Even now, he can't believe this is not a dream. With enthusiasm, he throws the garbage out, does laundry, and cleans the house. After this hard work, he grabs himself a can of juice and drinks it. He feels as if he is in heaven. He turns on the TV and gets to know what's happening in the world. Even though this is heaven to him, he realizes the situation outside is pretty bad. He wonders what's going to happen from now on, but decides to think about that later, and first gets himself another chilled can. However, there is no more. Akira is devastated. Today he wanted to stay home, watch a movie and drink a lot of juice. But now, he has to get himself some cans. Even though there are zombies walking around, to him, juice is the utmost priority. Somewhere in an apartment, a couple is freaking out as the zombies are right in front of their home. They are in a panic because they can't call for help. But then, they notice Akira climbing down the pipe and freak out. They ask him what he is doing. Akira tells them he wanted to use the stairwell, but it's crawling with zombies, so he had no other choice than this. They tell him to come here, it's risky outside, but Akira says it's fine because he is going for shopping. He asks them if they need anything. The couple says some canned food and toilet paper would be nice. After this, Akira gets on his bicycle and rides it to a nearby convenience store. He is enjoying and singing on his way when he notices a cute girl drinking water. Akira heavily blushes. He greets her and talks about how hard it has gotten because of zombies. But the girl completely ignores him. Akira asks her if they can exchange contact to help each other. The girl says it's none of her business, but coming here while singing and luring the zombies only to buy unnecessary things is not something she calls strategic planning. She bluntly says she doesn't want to team up with someone who simply can't analyze what's the risk to reward for his actions. As the zombies start entering the store, Akira comes in front to save her, but she pulls him back and then a truck just crashes inside the store and crushes all the zombies. Without saying anything else, the girl just leaves. Akira is just enchanted by her coolness and prettiness. He wonders if they will meet again. But because his bike also got crushed, he starts running to avoid the zombies. Eventually, he finds a scooter with keys. He realizes there are a lot more abandoned vehicles just like this and finds an even better upgrade. After arriving at his apartment, he climbs up to the couple's home, but finds it completely wrecked and stained with blood. In his room, as he chugs on his cans, Akira realizes that life is too short to avoid taking risks. He gets himself a notebook and pencil. There were a lot of things he wanted to do as a kid, but always find one excuse after another and ended up not doing those things. All night, Akira writes down the things he always wanted to do but wasn't able to. He wants to do these things before turning into zombie. The scene shifts to yesterday. We see the day through Shizuka's point of view. Early in the morning, she was doing her workout when the news broke out about the zombies. She was quick to understand what was her priority, and made her own list to avoid becoming a zombie. All the things she wrote were to increase her chances of survival and get herself more days to live. Unlike Akira, she is more of an analytical type who before taking any action first calculates the risk. She needed the necessary supplies, so she went to the convenience store and put a camera outside for surveillance. It was also then she met Akira. Her first impression of him was he is harmless, but very reckless. She immediately knew it was better to keep her distance from him. She was keeping an eye on the outside, and that's why she was able to see the truck and save Akira. But this whole encounter with him is still making her wonder how come some Jews can make anyone this happy in an apocalypse. The scene shifts to 2 days later. After shaving his beard, Akira is wondering what he should do today. He goes through his phone and notices all the invitations he declined from his friends to hang out. In the past 3 years, the only time he agreed was to meet his best friend, who was the only person to advise him to quit his terrible job. Akira remembers about Kencho and knows no way he will go down this easily in this apocalypse. And Akira is right, because Kencho is somewhere in a building surrounded by zombies. He barely survived an attack from his girlfriend because luckily he was in the right room and was able to use the tools to tie her up. For the past 3 days, he hasn't eaten anything, just survived on water. He has no hope of getting out of here, and starts remembering about the college days he spent with Akira. Just then he receives a call from him. Akira with enthusiasm greets Kencho and tells him to send the address. He is coming to him. Kencho tries to warn him. The building is surrounded by zombies, but Akira doesn't care. Soon, he gets ready and heads out. Kencho and Akira were in the same university, as well as in the same club. After graduation, Kencho became a big real estate agent with his talent in communication. Along with making a lot of money, he was dating an extremely gorgeous model. And he was the one who told Akira to quit such an exploitative company. After some time, the zombies outside Kencho's room start running towards a loud noise coming from a distance. It's Akira who set it up. After buying enough time, he goes inside the building and surprises Kencho. Akira gets emotional and apologizes to Kencho for not listening to his advice earlier. He also apologizes for getting jealous of him. Even though they are best friends, he got angry at him. Kencho also has something to confess, but the zombies are back. They run towards the rooftop and secure the gate using AC condensers. But Kencho knows this won't hold on long, so he is freaking out and asking himself what to do. Akira says let's go to the front building's roof. Kencho fears it's not possible to cover such a distance. But Akira says that's the only option they have. He jumps and safely lands. He tells Kencho to quickly come over. But Kencho is hesitant. He apologizes, but he doesn't think he can jump. He has accepted his death, but before that, he wants to tell Akira the truth. The truth is, he never enjoyed his work. Day after day, he tricked his clients into bad contracts. Even though he was dating a gorgeous woman, he wasn't in love with her. He was just showing off and pretending to be happy. What he actually wanted to do was to make people laugh and become a stand-up comedian, not a real estate agent. Akira smiles and says in that case quit his present self and become a new one. Prove his passion for a comedian is real by jumping here. They have one life, so let's do everything they have ever wanted in this one as well. Kencho decides to jump. He takes multiple steps back and jumps. To make himself lighter, he undresses and barely manages to reach the building. Akira pulls him up and throughout night, they laugh and reminisce about their college days. The scene shifts to the next morning. Akira is playing a video game, while Kencho is preparing breakfast. After the food is made, it turns out to be incredibly delicious. Akira can really see the reason Kencho is popular among girls. Kencho says, well, girls really like guys who can cook. He advises Akira to learn it as well if he doesn't want to stay single forever. On hearing this, Akira is pissed, really pissed. He swears he'll make a girlfriend and that too, today only. Kencho, looking at the girls they are surrounded with, wishes Akira the best. He reads Akira's notebook and is amazed to see how many simple things he wants to do. If Akira hadn't saved him back then, he definitely would have died without ever doing something he liked. So to celebrate this new life, he also adds one, and that's to become a stand-up comedian. One of the things Akira wants is to play games on big TV. So together with Kencho, he goes to an electronics store. But before they can arrive, their way is blocked, and an oil truck is heading their way. They have to immediately leave or they will be burnt alive. Akira notices a subway stairs. He puts on his goggles and manages to escape the explosion. But underground there is a swarm of zombies. They find a department store and barely get inside in time. But they soon finds out they are not the only ones here. Apart from them, there are 4 other survivors who are scared as hell. Luckily, this is a department store, so Kencho is glad to know they won't be starving for a while. They all sit down and introduces themselves to one another. Akira is kinda nervous, because to him it's almost like a group date. But unlike him, Kencho is used to these things and is smooth with his talks. The 3 girls are flight attendants and the man is their passenger. They were returning home, but when they arrived at the airport, the apocalypse happened and they have been stuck here since then. Despite the seriousness in the air, there is one thing going inside Akira's mind, and that is to get himself a girlfriend. He wants to take a shot, but doesn't have the courage and no idea what to do in such situations. But things need to be done, and he can't stay single. So he approaches Yukari and asks her if she is single. But Yukari, with a disgusted face, asks how this is the right time to talk about something like this. Akira is miserable and wants Kencho's help, but he has already gotten himself busy. Akira thinks drinking juice will help him boost his courage, but it ends up being a mistake. Yukari enters the washroom and comforts Akira. She apologizes for being rude earlier, but it's just that there is so much going on inside her head. On the other side, shockingly, the passenger was bitten and turns into a zombie. First gets the girl, leading to which Kencho hears a scream. He wonders what's happening, but Maki says it's probably others also going crazy like them, and suggests they should go round too. But Kencho decides to check the situation, and eventually, he finds Rachel turned into a zombie. As she charges at Kencho, he dodges, but Maki ends up getting bit. Kencho is freaking out. He grabs himself something and crushes her for good. On the other side, Yukari is attacked by the old man from behind. Akira is in shock. He quickly throws him away, and as he looks at Yukari, Akira realizes it's too late. He doesn't want to leave her after she was so kind to him, but Yukari pushes him away and stops the old man. Akira runs away and meets up with Kencho. Before Maki gets them, they manage to grab themselves a large TV and immediately escape. The scene shifts to the next day. Akira asks Kencho the reason he is dyeing his hair. Kencho always wanted to go blonde just like superheroes, but couldn't because then he would have looked like a gangster to his clients. Hearing this, Akira also remembers his long-forgotten dream of becoming a superhero. He says he wants to be one. Kencho is confused. He asks what about the powers real superheroes have. But Akira says he has researched what he needs to defeat zombies. So soon after eating, they head to the aquarium. Just like the outside world, things inside here are also messed up. They go inside a locker room where they find a shark suit. Shark suits are designed to protect your body from shark bites. And if shark can't get past this, no way a zombie would be able to. Somewhere in the city, survivors on a bus are freaking out because they are stuck. And to make the situation worse, one of the passengers turns into a zombie. Everyone panics and starts running. Some of them end up getting eaten by zombies. A high school girl is on the way to get an aquarium, but she falls down. As she is about to be attacked by the zombie, Akira comes to the rescue. He evacuates everyone to the building, but then he sees Shizuka. Akira wonders if this is fate. But then he gets attacked by zombies, one after another. Even though he is not getting bit, it's definitely painful to endure all those bites. He asks Kencho for help, but he refuses because there is only one shark suit. So Akira has to get rid of every single zombie by himself. Inside the aquarium, everyone thanks both of them for saving their lives. Kencho, on seeing Akira's face when looking at Shizuka, understands the situation and encourages him to go and talk to her. Akira goes and awkwardly greets her. He talks about the day they first met and once again asks if she would like to exchange contacts. But Shizuka asks him why he was risking his life to save others. Is this hero role he is playing because of low self-esteem he has? Because it often causes people to adopt the look and mannerisms of their heroes. It's a psychological defense mechanism for those who have low self-worth. Akira is devastated to hear this. Shizuka does clarify, it's not like she is denying he saved people, but she wants to know when he does something so reckless, does he even calculate how much danger he puts to those who are really important to him rather than strangers. Now Akira really do wonder, what if his acts might cause danger to Kencho? What exactly is a hero then? Shizuka says she didn't want to lecture him, but someone who can't analyze risk will only lower her survivability, so there is no merit in exchanging contact info. But just then the whole building starts to shake. Akira and Kencho go to look for the cause and find the hallway filled with water, and then the zombie shark appears that has human legs. Both of them freaks out and run away. They inform everyone and all of them start panicking and run towards the exit. Shizuka says it's probably the diver's shark ate are moving its body. As they are about to exit, there are zombies in front of them and the shark also barges inside. They all run away towards a room, and on the way the high school girl ends up panicking and uses Shizuka to get ahead. Eventually Akira realizes Shizuka is still outside. Kencho tries to open the door but it's stuck. By the time he tries to tell this to Akira, he is gone. Outside, Shizuka is scolding herself for getting into big groups. She knew it was not a good idea, but also she had no other choice. As she is about to be eaten, Akira comes to the rescue. She asks why he is here, and Akira says it's to save her. She tells him it's a stupid reason. But Akira doesn't care. Just like when you are hungry you eat, similarly when you see a girl in danger you have to save her. Shizuka gets it but asks what's the plan. Akira didn't thought of any, so Shizuka tells him to follow her. She has one. This is a foolish idea, but she thinks it's well worth the risk. After telling the plan, Akira does his job to buy time. As per Shizuka, sharks have sensors in their head that are capable of detecting electrical charges that come out from smaller fishes. They have to focus their attack there and deliver a stronger electrical current. And while Shizuka is finding a source, Akira is thrown off and his mask is taken off. Before he is eaten, just in time, Shizuka throws battery to him and Akira punches the shark. This is enough to electrocute the shark. After this accomplishment, Kencho compliments Akira for doing a great job as a hero. They ask Shizuka if it's fine not going with others, and she says she never intended to go in big groups. She was just trying to cover a short distance. Kencho asks what's about teaming up with Akira, but she refuses. Akira is heartbroken, so Kencho says things only get started when you are rejected. Shizuka says her top priority is to do things to avoid becoming a zombie. And Akira's methods are too different from her. Despite her warnings, he risked his life to save others. Akira says it's because she is now precious to him, he can't just abandon her. Shizuka heavily blushes. Just before parting ways, she exchanges contact with him. She doesn't think they will meet again, but there is no risk in sharing contacts with him. After she leaves, Kencho asks Akira what's their plan from now. Akira says it's time to visit his village to see if his parents are doing okay. The scene shifts to night. The water and electricity is gone. Their phones are charged, so before they start their journey to the village, they have to secure water and other supplies. But one good thing that happened from this major power outage is witnessing the sky they never could have. Looking at this makes Akira nostalgic and wanting to meet his parents sooner. The next day, after securing enough supplies for their journey, Akira bids goodbye to Tokyo. Normally it takes 3 to 4 hours, but in this apocalypse, it's likely there will be obstacles and they have to prepare for a long journey that will be full of challenges. So to make this at least comfortable, Akira plans to get themselves an RV, with a kitchen and a comfy bed all in one vehicle. Kencho also likes the idea very much. As they arrive at the car shop, they again meet Shizuka. Akira can't believe this. It's 3 times already. If this is not fate, then he doesn't know what is. Akira once again asks her to join them, but she immediately refuses, saying she will need more than one life to survive this apocalypse with them. Akira is devastated. They ask if she has a license to drive, but Shizuka doesn't have one. Akira asks her, how come a person who does so much risk analysis is driving without a license? He once again insists her to team up for a short time. This time, Shizuka agrees. Upon entering, Both Kencho and Akira are going crazy over the different kinds of RV. As per Shizuka's own analysis, she is finding a perfect ride that will increase their survival chances. But Kencho and Akira have sights on something fancier. Shizuka says it's too big and will have difficulty in passing through, but they say it's best for spending nights. Just then, the zombies enter the building. All three get inside the RV and escape. After an hour of traveling, unfortunately, Kencho ends up getting caught in spikes and gets injured. And eventually, a bus arrives with a bunch of guys, among which is Kosugi, Akira's senior. Just seeing Kosugi brings back all the bad things he experienced. Akira is having trouble speaking to him, and his stomach is hurting. Now that their RV's tire is useless and their friend got hurt, Kosugi advises Akira to rest in his place while they will repair their vehicle. Akira is very happy, but Kosugi says in return for this service, for 2 days, Akira would have to work for him. Shizuka realizes it's their trick to first injure incoming people and then manipulate them to make them work for a cheap price. Kosugi asks, so what? There is no law, and they don't have any time either, because zombies are approaching them. All they have to do is stay for 2 days and work. After that, they are free to go. Or he asks Akira if he wants his friends to get eaten by zombies. Akira says if it's for 2 days he will work. They arrive at the location, where Kosugi has prepared a barricaded base. Everyone who is working here has been brought under the same conditions as Akira. Kencho is feeling miserable. Because of him, Akira has to go through this. But Shizuka says it's not his fault, Kosugi pre-planned it all. They have no other choice but to tolerate these 2 days. The next day, Akira starts working. Within a few hours he starts to feel exhausted, because of heavy lifting and working under such terrible heat. But he tells himself, this is not like before, now, he has things he wants to achieve. So he just has to bear this for 2 days. He finds some beer and puts it in the fridge to chill, but then Kosugi comes and asks Akira in anger what he is doing here instead of working. Akira says he was just cooling them before dinner for everyone. Kosugi asks how dare he think chilling beer is more important than saving electricity. He threatens Akira this is his last warning. Just then, other members come and on noticing the beer, with excitement, they ask if it's for them. Kosugi lies and says yes, he told Akira to chill them so later everyone can enjoy it, as a welcome party. This is a small gesture of gratitude. Everyone thanks him for being this generous. Akira is just speechless. He looks outside and sees Kosugi is using zombies to move the cargo. And Kosugi also says that, just like them, Akira is also a tool to him, that is born to follow his orders. There should be no other happiness to him than serving his superior. Akira is too freaked out to say anything. On the other side, Kencho wonders why Akira is so scared. But Shizuka says there are things you can't just forget. Even if your mind knows that they are unfairly controlling you, your heart never forgets. At night, the welcome party starts. Everyone is enjoying it, other than Akira, who is still working and making a lot of mistakes because of being exhausted. When an old lady tries to pour some juice, Kosugi gets angry and says he only accepts such services from a beautiful young woman. He orders Shizuka to pour him the drink. While Shizuka is pouring it, Kosugi has lust in his eyes. He tells her to drink as well. But when she refuses, Kosugi says it's an order. Shizuka agrees to drink, and Kosugi says there is something else he wants her to swallow. Shizuka completely ignores what he just said. Kosugi calls Akira and orders him to bring more juice. But the one Akira gives is an empty bottle. Kosugi gets furious and asks Akira how he can make this mistake when his friend is being tended and his RV is being repaired. Shizuka, looking at this, remembers her upbringing. Even before she could talk, her father kept telling her, in order to be successful she had to follow his every order. He wanted to control everything related to her. What she does, who she goes out with, and what she chooses for her career. Even when Shizuka requested her father to let her become a doctor, he bluntly told her she couldn't, saying, "Doctors don't make a lot of money and are at risk of being sued." He just wants to control her, and deep down, Shizuka accepted that if she wants to survive, she has to obey his father's orders. She is the only person here to understand what Akira is going through. The next day, yet again Akira is making mistakes and getting scolded. Kosugi had enough of this and in anger tells Akira that because of his mistakes, he will be staying 2 more days. Akira panics and says it's not what was decided. But Kosugi shifts his tone and says he is only requesting because he is convinced in his abilities. He wants him to stay and not go back to the dangerous world out there. He cares for him and that's why he must listen to him and just stay here and work under him. All he needs to survive is just to follow his orders. The scene shifts to the evening. While Akira is still working, Shizuka notices his notebook and goes through it. She is amused and calls him a weird guy for wanting to do such simple silly things. She also decides to write something. The following day, as per the promise, it's been 2 days and Shizuka tells Kosugi they are leaving. But Akira says he wants to stay here and work under Kosugi. Kencho in a confused tone asks what he is saying. Akira says it's dangerous out there, and here he will be safe. Kencho tries to bring back to his senses, but he doesn't. Shizuka is a bit furious and says it's fine and tells Kencho to let's go without wasting a single second. She doesn't plan to meet him again, but one last thing before leaving, she tells Akira that the guy over there doesn't care about anyone. All he wants is to dominate those under him and make them do whatever he wants. Your freedom is his and he must decide what you choose. People like him can pull down others so they can make themselves seem bigger. Until today she was doing the same as told by her father, but Akira opened her eyes. And if he is staying here with the fear and risk of dying outside, then she must tell him in this state of the world no one can say what the right answer is. She tells Akira what he wants to do actually, that matters the most. Kosugi grabs the notebook and throws it away. He is about to step on it, but then Akira remembers the time he has spent until now and protects the notebook. He thanks Kosugi for taking care of him, but he doesn't want to do anything with him and never wants to see him again. Kosugi asks how he can do this when he is so good with him. Akira says it's fine, it's better than being working like a zombie, while not being able to do a single thing he wants. Just then the supply gathering team is back. But as he opens the door, a zombie lunges out and bites him. Everyone loses their cool and the driver ends up panicking and crashing into the truck pulling by the zombies. Everyone tries to get on top of the RV. Some of them are safe but some are not. And Kosugi is running for his life. Akira, seeing this, comes up with an idea. He requests everyone for their help. Kosugi ends up falling, but before he is taken down, Akira comes to the rescue. Kencho asks why he is helping such a pathetic person. But Akira says it's not on his bucket list to see someone getting eaten by a zombie. As per his plan, the guys start circling around and surround the zombies. After jumping off, Akira throws the flare, which with the help of gas, ends up killing the zombies. Everyone thanks Akira for saving them. And after this, other guys also say they are done working under Kosugi. Also the captives have finally the courage to say they have paid their due and are leaving. And just like this, everyone leaves Kosugi behind. On the way, Shizuka is stunned to hear that Akira didn't remember anything that happened. Akira says whenever he was in front of Kosugi, he blanked out. But now he is feeling a lot better. On the way to village, Akira keeps completing his bucket list whenever he finds the opportunity. He is happy to see that at this rate, he will be able to complete 100 in just a month. Only 1 hour is remaining until they arrive at Gunma, where the village is located. But on the way, they notice zombies crawling over a truck. They realize a survivor is stuck in there, so Akira puts on his suit and goes to help. But then, a person in a samurai armor comes out and starts getting rid of the zombies with slashes, strikes, and arrows. Eventually, we see the person behind the mask is a gorgeous woman named Beatrix, who is from Germany. Beatrix is a huge fan of Japanese culture, who even learned the language before coming here. She was tasked to deliver the fish, but now it's not possible. She really wants to complete this job and requests Akira and others to help her in delivering the fish to Mr. Takasaki. Well, it's on the way, so they don't mind it. But Akira does ask why she is so desperate to deliver them. Beatrix says she dreamed of coming here. She worked and saved money, but when she arrived in Japan, the beautiful country she envisioned just went to ruins in front of her eyes. She dreamed to eat sushi, so she found one surviving chef who told her that if she could deliver fish to him, he would let her have delicious sushi. Both Kencho and Shizuka are just speechless to know she is risking her life just for some sushi. But Akira can understand her very well. He promises they will deliver it to Takasaki and eat it. They can't waste any more time or the fish will lose its quality. They come across a horde of zombies blocking their way. To get rid of them, Beatrix just goes into berserk mode. But because there are just too many, they use the horn of the truck to corner the zombies and then throw alcohol at them. But as they are about to light it up, the match isn't working and some of the zombies start crossing over. Beatrix starts to lose hope, but Akira encourages her to not give up yet. And with this, both Akira and Beatrix go in the battlefield making sure to get rid of the zombies crossing over. But even after this, because there are too many, they get cornered too. But then, Shizuka comes to the rescue. Using a drone and a Walkman, she lures away the zombies to the point where they pour gasoline, and with a Molotov, they start getting rid of the zombies. After some time, they arrive at the sushi place and can't believe how tasty it is. Beatrix takes a bite, and Akira asks how it is. Beatrix is very emotional and says it's amazing. By the next day, they arrive at Gunma. They all are sweating and haven't had any baths since their journey. So they are hoping to find themselves a hot spring. They eventually find one, and Akira along with Kencho is going crazy over it. Akira is kinda excited to know it's just like a date. But then he realizes something and apologizes to Shizuka for making her stuck with them. Because otherwise this would have been a great place to go on a date with someone she loves. Shizuka asks him why he is presuming she is interested in making a boyfriend. In the first place, to her dating is a waste of time and resources. It's better to use your 20s to acquire knowledge and skills. And after earning enough money you can then think about your partner. But Akira says to him if he has someone he loves, every day he will be happy and even work harder too. But she calls it ridiculous. Loving someone doesn't guarantee they will love you back. Love is an investment with poor cost performance. Eventually, they find an open hot spring, and both Kencho and Akira immediately dive in and go crazy. And knowing it's going to be a mixed one because the woman's bath pump isn't working, they cannot believe how lucky they are. Like gentlemen, Akira and Kencho tell both of them there is no need to be ashamed. But Shizuka with a disgusted face refuses. But Beatrix isn't ashamed because in ancient Japan, having mixed baths was seen as a good thing. Both Akira and Kencho are very grateful to her. However, zombies start to come out from the water. They have no other choice but to run and get to their safety. All of them are devastated for not being able to bathe and end up going to sleep. After hours, Akira wakes up and goes to drink some water. He hears a waterfall and comes across a hot spring that is not infected by zombies. He immediately dives in and enjoys the view. But then, he bumps into Shizuka, and immediately apologizes for not knowing this. Shizuka is embarrassed, and tells him to get out. But Akira doesn't want to. He also wants to bathe in a hot spring. Shizuka says in that case, just be on the other side of the boulder. She apologizes for earlier, about when she shot down his way of love. Ever since she was a child, all her opinions were rejected by her father. So as a result to her, it makes it difficult to accept the opinions of others as well. The truth is she is just afraid to get hurt, and was just acting tough. If she ever falls in love, she wants to be with someone who she can be open with just like him. But on realizing what she said, she blushes and says she didn't mean it that way. Akira correctly interprets what she means, but then, Kencho and Beatrix also come. Kencho asks them since when they started dating. He truly respects their relationship and doesn't want to be a third wheel, but he won't forgive them for coming to this hot spring without telling them. And as everyone joins the hot spring, another thing on Akira's bucket list is completed. The scene shifts to the next morning. Akira and others are almost at the village. Kencho is very excited to meet Akira's parents, but Akira seems to be nervous. Before coming to Tokyo, he had a talk with his father, who told him to find his own dream instead of working for someone else's. Because a man without one is nothing. But at that time, Akira didn't think highly of his father because to him, he was just a country farmer. Now he regrets not listening to his advice. Just in front, they come across the tunnel which is infected by zombies. Everyone fears the villagers have turned into zombies, but Akira doesn't recognize any one of them. Now that they can't use the tunnel, they will have to cut through the forest and go over the mountain to reach the other side. Shizuka can see Akira is nervous, so she assures him it's likely the villagers are safe. The tunnel has been closed from both sides, so likely the villagers managed to seal away the tunnel before the zombies entered their village. Just then they hear someone scream, and an old person starts running towards them because a zombie boar is after him. Beatrix tells the old man to get down and kills it. The old man thanks them and introduces himself as Kumano. Akira asks him what he is doing here all alone in the forest, and the old man says he was looking for a safe place and ended up settling here. After walking for some time, they arrive at the location where Kumano is making a tree house using his carpenter skills. As he talks all about the tree house, Akira's eyes start glowing, and he requests Kumano to let them help him in preparing this tree house before any threat comes this way. Kumano doesn't mind, but Shizuka asks what about going to the village. Akira says he can't let an elderly person do all this work by himself. Let's finish this before heading there. Kencho likes the idea as well. And for the entire day, they all help in making it. Once it's done, Kumano thanks everyone for helping in making his son's dream come true. Akira asks where he is now, and Kumano shares how his wife bit his son, and he was forced to put both of them down. Everyone is sad but as well as happy to know they helped Kumano in making this. After this, they bid goodbye to him, and continue their journey to the village. They cross through the edge of the mountain, and a bridge that seems to be very fragile. This is a very weird place to live, but they understand because of this, it's likely zombies weren't able to harm the village. And eventually, the village is at their sight. On the way, Akira wonders if he did anything for his parents, like celebrating their birthdays or paying them his first paycheck. He never really put thought into it, but now he wants to do something for them. Eventually, they arrive at the village, however, there is no one in sight. In panic, he starts searching for them and enters his home, where there are villagers celebrating. Akira, on seeing his parents safe, ends up getting emotional. He thanks them for working hard and giving their best to raise him. He apologizes for not contacting them in past 3 years, and for not being able to give them something in return. But then, Akira's father, Taro, punches him and tells him to shut up. Everyone have lunch, which is made from fish and vegetables that were grown in the village. Akira's mother, Akiko, tells everyone to make themselves at home. Shizuka is amazed to see the village was able to self-sustain itself with just the food grown here in this apocalypse. But Akiko says it's not something unusual to them, because this is a very remote village, so even before the apocalypse, they have been self-sustaining themselves. Beatrix asks about zombies in the tunnel, and Akiko says a bunch of people from the city wanted to move here after hearing the rumors this village was safe. But some of them were infected and spread the infection to those around them. They had no choice but to block the tunnel to keep the village safe. Among the people from the city, there are some surviving people living here in abandoned houses. After lunch, while others are outside, enjoying the view, Akira tells his mother to rest while he does the chores. He asks her where she wants to go. He will take her there. But Akiko thanks him but tells Akira to rest as he has been from a long journey. But then, Taro comes and tells Akira to help him on the farm. There, Akira asks him how his backaches has been. Taro says like always. Akira insists his father to rest while he does the work here. But Taro says he is fine. Everyone in the village must work hard to do their part. Akira says that's true. He is having trouble making his dad and mom happy. He is thinking hard about how he can repay his parents. In the evening, Akira comes to show the green beans that are harvested, but Taro quickly hides away his bloody hand. On the way to home, Akira comes across a few people and gets to know they are from the city. Akira seems to have seen the guy before, but can't recall where. At night, the sane boy, Ryuzaki, with his friends are at the front of the tunnel and are planning to do something horrible. We go back to Ryozaki's past, where he was an unemployed, searching for a job. Even though he thinks working is for losers, he needs money to pay his rent and other expenses because his parent has stopped sending anymore. Whenever he looked at his state, he often asked himself, why did he fell behind those who were around him? He wished to go back in grade school when he had no worries and could do whatever he wanted to do with his friends. Just like Akira, when he got to know about the apocalypse, he laughed because he knew he was free. He came across a bunch of people who were just like him, an outcast in this society. Together with them, he made their own bucket list. An employee wanted to burn down the company that insulted her, a pervert wanted to shove his tongue down a girl's throat, and a husband wanted to beat his wife to death. They swore to turn everyone into a zombie who has caused them pain. These are their 100 things to do before becoming zombies. The scene shifts to the next day. Akira is getting a dreadlock style like he wanted, all thanks to Sakura, who worked at a salon in Tokyo. And just like her, Ayumi and Nagisa are from Tokyo as well. Ayumi was a teacher, and Nagisa was a makeup artist for movies. She has worked in a lot of movies. On seeing one of the titles, Akira is amazed to know it. They were just filming the sequel of this movie and then the apocalypse happened. She never expected to be attacked by real zombies while filming a zombie movie. At first, when one of the actors started acting weirdly, she thought he was only joking, but she soon realized he was not. And now remembering the time she shared makes her emotional. Ayumi and others are very thankful for the villagers to accept them with open arms. On the other side, while Shizuka is helping a villager named Tome, an old man grabs her from behind thinking it's his wife. He is taken care of and Tome says ever since his wife died he has been like this. Just then another villager comes asking Tome if she has some rope to spare. He sliced himself with a scythe, so he is trying to stop with the help of a rope. But Shizuka tells him, binding it too tightly will risk killing the cells in the tissues. So she guides him the correct way to treat the injury. Tome is impressed and asks if she is a doctor, but Shizuka refuses and says she was just interested in it. And after this, more villagers come up with their own issues, and it's just too overwhelming. On the other side, Kencho is walking around the village and learning different things. He comes across a cesspit that is used as a natural fertilizer. Just then he notices a little girl named Anju and gets to know she is from this city who lost her entire family. Kencho can see her sad face and approaches her. At first, Anju is uneasy, but with Kencho's communication skills, he cracks some jokes and Anju becomes comfortable talking about herself and her dog, Charo. On the other side, Beatrix is having a tour of the village where she sees a hydro wheel that generates the minimum amount of electricity the village need. Its power is also used in electric fence that gives a small shock to keep bears and boars away. The old lady warns Beatrix to not touch this earth leakage circuit breaker. It shuts off the power if there's an electric leakage. Everyone spends the day with villagers, helping them and getting closer. Kencho, after working, meets up with Akira. There he notices the guy and recognizes it's Ryuzaki. Kencho greets him, but when Ryuzaki notices them, he makes a face and leaves. Akira asks about him, and Kencho tells him he was in their university. But after some time, he stopped coming and turned into a shut-in. Never thought he would be here. Ryuzaki on the way is angry on seeing Akira and Kencho. Just remembering about his past makes him even more annoyed. He gets a perfect idea. At night, Akira gathers his courage to ask his dad if he would like to have a drink together. Taro agrees and they sit together to have a drink. Akira notices his father's hand has gotten thinner and he has a lot of white hair. He says he always idolized big city, but now he wants to stay here in the village and help him and mom to ease their burden. But Taro says a man should follow his dream, and there is no point in staying in a small village. Akira then asks what about him, why he is talking big when he is just a country farmer. But then stops and asks what was his dream when he was little. Taro asks Akira if he ever wanted to see Earth from the far reaches of space. It always amazes him how tiny their existence is compared to the vastness of space. Ever since he was a kid, he wanted to be an astronaut. But he is just too dumb, so there's no way that'll happen at this point. In 13.8 billion years of this universe existence, humans haven't even existed for a single second. So he encourages Akira to find his dream, and the biggest one. Dreams keep a man solid. And apart from this, he tells Akira his hair is not that great looking on him. With this, another thing in the bucket list cuts down. On the other side, Ryuzaki with his friends remove the barricade and let the zombies come out. Their plan is simple: turn everyone into a zombie, especially Akira. Back in the village, Akira hears some noise and goes towards it. On witnessing the scene, he is in shock. Zombies have infiltrated and every villager is running. Taro tells Akira to leave his mother in his hand and go to his friends. As the villagers are running, Ryuzaki is laughing with all his heart. Shizuka is evacuating guys, and as she is about to be attacked, the old guys save her. Shizuka is freaking out. If this keeps up, the whole village will be destroyed. Kencho and Unju are running away, and when they are about to be attacked, Beatrix comes to the rescue. After this, all four meet up. Their priority is evacuating the villagers. They have to trespass the electric barrier, and Beatrix assures them the current is only small enough to just fend off the bears and pigs. But when Kencho touches it, he gets a high voltage shock. Shizuka manages to save him, but Beatrix wonders how this is possible. She looks at the voltage box and notices someone has increased the voltage and disabled the earth leakage circuit breaker. Someone is planning to trap them, and they finally gets to know it's Ryuzaki who is behind all of this mess. Akira asks why he is doing this, and Ryuzaki says he just wants to see everyone turn into zombies, especially Akira. Kencho asks what Akira did to him that he hates him so much. Ryuzaki says he hated Akira since the moment they met in college. Unlike him, Akira didn't have any care of life and enjoyed each and every day. He was disgusted with him, on how their life was so different. So now he is doing everything he ever wanted to those who made him an outcast. Akira says he understands if he wants to do things before dying. But putting your freedom first by sacrificing others is not his way. Just to achieve your goals, that doesn't mean hurting others. Ryuzaki laughs and says, so what if everyone is going to turn into zombie? They don't have time to waste, so Beatrix says she is going to turn off the generator powering the electric fence. And others decide to gather everyone and meet them at the bridge. Kencho tells Anju to not leave his side, but sees her running towards the village for some reason. Kencho decides to go after her, and tells Akira they will meet at the bridge. Toka goes after Beatrix to stop her, and Ryuzaki tells others to let's drag out the villagers from their homes. Somewhere in the village, Anju is trying very hard to look for Charo, but when she finally finds him, zombies come to attack her. Just in time, Kencho comes to her rescue. To avoid the zombies, he uses the ladder and waits on the roof. However, Kurasugi climbs up and starts pushing Kencho off the roof. Kencho asks him why he is doing this, and Kurasugi says his life was miserable. At first, when he got married, like anybody he wished for a happy home. But before he even realized, the same home became his enemy. His wife always compared him to other husbands, how they get promotions and how they take their family on vacations. His relationship with her was at its lowest, and they only talked once a week, and that too just making remarks on each other. He had no intentions of repairing his family, and often wondered why he was even working himself to the bone for a family he had lost all love and affection. Kurasugi says, what if he spent the night at bar when his wife was giving birth? What's so wrong about that? Can't he even have some relaxation after a tiring day? Kencho can't believe what an absurd thing he just heard. He asks him if he has ever thanked his wife for taking care of the house each and every day. Did he truly listen to her complaints and worked on them? She was only telling all this because she had faith in him. And the reason she eventually lost interest in him was because he let her down. When he never even cared to love her, how can he even expect her to love him? But Kurasugi still says he is the victim. Kencho knows there is no way to convince him, so he just pulls him and together falls on the ground. Kurasugi is panicking and asks what he is planning to do. Kencho has suspected the reason zombies are after them is because of either their smell, body heat, or something that came out from their bodies. So he dives into the cesspit, and with this, the zombies go after Kurasugi. After they leave, Kencho comes out and together with Unju leaves. On the other side, Shizuka is banging on the door and requesting the villagers to quickly evacuate the village. But they refuse, and instead tell her to leave. They all are old, and some of them are even bedridden. They can't go very far, so they at least want her to survive. Shizuka refuses to do so and first lures the zombies away from the house. She successfully manages to lure away the zombies, but Naoki finds her. He is excited because his dream is going to become a reality. Like he wanted, he is alone with a beautiful girl and now he just wants to force his tongue down her throat. Shizuka is disgusted and starts running. She'd rather get eaten by a zombie than get assaulted. Naoki never had any luck with women in his entire life, so if he can get a woman by force, that's fine with him. We go back to his past, when he was a waiter. He considered himself a very unlucky person, because he was always scolded by his boss for making mistakes, and all his colleagues complained about his behavior. After yet another mistake of his, the whole restaurant burned down, and even then he blamed the restaurant for not putting the ashtrays. He again told himself, it's others' fault, not his, he is the victim. Just then, the old man Hiko wakes up and starts asking where is his wife Akemi. Tome tells him Shizuka is outside protecting them against the zombies. Hearing this, Hiko asks what they all are doing here. They say they are old and can't do much. But Hiko asks how can they even think that? This village went through numerous ordeals, extreme cold and heat, all came but they stood and fought against it. They have survived this long, who cares about some zombies? Outside, Naoki points the gun at Shizuka, but just then someone shoots and disarms him. It's Hiko, the finest hunter in the village. Eventually, other old men comes and take down Naoki. Naoki once again blames the god for giving him bad luck, but Shizuka tells him, someone so self-absorbed will never be blessed with good luck. On the other side, Beatrix is on her way to stop the wheel, but Toka comes in front and uses a chainsaw to attack Beatrix, and ends up breaking her weapon. Beatrix realizes it's not going to be easy. She is trying her best, but because of the noise, zombies are coming towards them. She asks Toka why she is doing something so evil, and Toka says this is the right thing, that's why. In her company, she told her juniors to always put glue stick next to the stapler because that's the right place, but they never listened. Whenever she told the director how the workplace should be, her plans were rejected. She told her superior about people making mistakes and him doing nothing about it, but in the end, she was told it was her who was the problem, who was wrong for being righteous. She says all those wrong-minded people who will get in her way will become zombies. She is the one who is right. Beatrix says in her country, it's normal to toss your cigarettes on the ground as you walk. Supermarket cashiers chew gum as they serve customers. On your birthdays you organize your own party and treat others to food. She knows it sounds absurd to a Japanese, but it's a normal life to her. Toka says she doesn't care about their culture. All wrong-minded people should just turn into zombies. But Beatrix uses this chance to lure the zombies towards her and use them to break the wheel. Beatrix says there is no perfectly right way of doing things. There are all sorts of people that make this world a colorful place. So instead of pushing your own ideals on others, it's better to work together to come up with a solution that will benefit you both. Toka is still in denial, but it's too late and she ends up dying. Unfortunately, Beatrix can't come down, so she is just riding the wheel. On the other side, zombies are in front trying to enter the house. Taro seems to be at his limit, and Akiko is very worried about him. Before the zombies enter the home, Akira comes to the rescue and starts getting rid of them. Taro, hearing Akira's voice, tells him to forget about them and leave the village immediately. But Akira refuses. He says he never sent them money, nor he ever took them on any trip overseas. He never did anything for them, so at least now he wants to save them even if it costs his life. Taro pulls Akira inside and says, if you want to repay them, then don't die before them. He tells Akira to take care of his mother and goes outside. While fighting the zombies, he tells Akira to not open the door or everyone will be in danger. Taro is fighting with all he has, but he is getting exhausted. But then something happens to him, and he falls down on his knees. As he is about to be eaten, Ryuzaki saves him. But it soon makes sense, when he threatens Akira to become a zombie if he wants to save his dad. We go back to Ryuzaki's past, when he was in elementary school. He had lots of friends and his most memorable time was hanging out with them at the public pool during summer break. But when he got into middle school, everyone began to notice he was naturally introverted and kept their distance from him. Similar thing happened in his high school. In college, he tried to change himself by doing internships, volunteer work and doing seminars on personal development. But to everyone else, he was an empty, visionless person. And to be fair, he didn't know what he wanted to do for himself. But then, there was Akira who was just like him, without any vision, lacking ambition, but he was enjoying his each day. That pissed him off and made him despise him. So he tells Akira to come out already to save his father. But Taro tells Akira no matter what, do not come out. Don't worry about him, because either way he doesn't have much longer to live. Akira, in shock, asks his mother about it. Akiko tells him he is sick, and the doctor says the illness cannot be treated. To know he won't be able to repay his dad, Akira gets emotional. After some time, he opens the door, and zombies start entering the house. Following this, a loud scream came and then Akira becomes a zombie. Ryuzaki, on witnessing his dream come true, is laughing with all his heart. However, Akira was only acting. Ryuzaki is confused and asks how is this even possible. We get to know before letting the zombies in, Akira had made a plan and with the help of Nagisa's skills he turned himself into a zombie. And after that they lured the zombies in, and took care of them. Ryuzaki is in disbelief to know this. Akira asks him what he wanted to do anyway. Ryuzaki says just like him, he wanted to do whatever he wanted. He asks if it's wrong for him to have fun. Akira asks him, then why he didn't look like he was enjoying himself. But then Ryuzaki also wonders, however, because he is lost in his thoughts, he is bit by zombie. He kicks it away and starts yelling. Others tells Akira to leave before the other zombies arrive. Akira asks him what he really wanted to write. Ryuzaki thinks back and says all he wanted to do was have fun at the public pool with friends. Akira calls him an idiot. Back then at university, when he invited him to join them, why he ran away from them. If he had just told them sooner, they would have become friends and gone to the public pool. But now that he can't save him, he promises when he becomes a zombie, they will go to the pool together. Ryuzaki starts crying. He starts running and luring the zombies away from Akira. As he starts to turn into a zombie, he sees little Akira in front and jumps into the river. On the other side, everyone meets up and Beatrix comes and breaks off the electric fence using the wheel. Everyone starts running and arrives at the bridge. However, it has been destroyed. It was their only way out, and now they are losing hope. But just then, Kumano throws the planks at them. With this, Akira and Kencho hold the bridge together while everyone crosses. And after that, they both jump and swing on it to safely reach the other side. Taro thanks Akira for saving everyone, and says he is proud of him. Akira is happy to hear it. The next day, they all seal off the tunnel and trap the zombies inside it. Now they are back at the village and would have to start from zero. But with the help of Kumano, the restoration will be much quicker. Everyone repairs the fence, and help in rebuilding the village. Even though everyone seems to have get themselves together and working hard, unfortunately, Taro seems to be at his limit. Akira is emotional. He promises his father he will keep everyone safe when he is gone. But he does asks what his illness is called. On knowing it's hemorrhoids, he is stunned. Taro hated hospitals so never went for treatment, and just bore the pain. Akira asks why he has a fever then, and Akiko says, yesterday he overdid himself, that's why. On hearing this, Akira laughs and is glad to know it's not that serious. He was planning to stay, but now he will leave the village, and like his father said, he will chase a bigger dream. Beatrix asks what he will do, and Akira says that even though the government is trying to stop this apocalypse, he will go around the country, and in his power look for a way to cure this virus. And then, he will convince his dad to get surgery for his hemorrhoids. With this, Akira sets another goal, and after him, others also write their own goals, like parting in cruise, living in a Japanese castle, and riding an ostrich. And the very next day after the village restoration, they all bid goodbye to the villagers and leave for their journey. Their destination is Hokkaido's medical facility. Even though they have a much bigger dream to achieve, they make sure to enjoy every little thing on the way. If you enjoyed the recap, please consider liking and subscribing this channel. Have a wonderful day ahead.